All right, August on a Monday, and this is State Forest State Park. And there's mountains up there. There's a lake. There's a porta potty. I'm gonna scroll up. I think these mountains are the Never Summers. Not sure. This is the road we're gonna be walking up. And I don't know how to zoom, but there's some big mountains in the distance. Okay, we're going for a hike. We're on the road that goes up to the Grass Creek Yurt. And what we're seeing is a clear cut, and this is State Forest State Park, therefore you gotta make it not a forest. And this is a really wet, yeah, it could be beetle kill. Really wet for meadow, and then you can see the lake, the tip end. I can't tell you which direction it's at, but it's just another view of our morning hike. Oh, and there's the road. Okay, still hiking. That truck is parked in the Grass Yurt parking lot. Grass Creek Yurt. And the yurts are run by some folks who are not a part of the state park, but have permission to be in the state park. And so off in the distance, probably a quarter mile away, is the yurt. I was wondering if this would do it. No, we're trying to make it zoom, but oh,
because it's got this protective
it's got this protective thing on it, so we're not able to zoom. But we camped here early October a couple of years ago, and they provide you with a cart to schlep your stuff from your car, and it's this little bitty trail that goes back to the yurt. When I go back to the yurt, you will see there's a white dot and then there's a brown dot, and the brown dot is the outhouse. The white dot is the yurt, and you drag your stuff up there. And then that night, it snowed 6 inches, 4 to 6, unexpected. And yeah, it was an adventure. It was also a very cold yurt. This is an aspen grove. And I read not too long ago a really cool book. It's called The Overstory by Richard Powers. And he got a Pulitzer for it. And one of the things he talks about in the book is aspens. And the tree may live to be only 80 years old, but the root system never dies. So these 80-year-old trees, or 40, 30, 20 young'uns, may be young, but the root mass is thousands of years old. And the root mass sort of, I don't know, this is speculation on his part, and I haven't done any further reading on it, is that the root system sort of communicates with, so the trees can sort of say, hey, I've got a bug infestation. Y'all better start upping your immune systems, your defense systems, whatever, because the bug infestation is going to be coming your way. Fascinating stuff. Okay, we're still climbing. Yeah, the road's still going up. That's okay. We tough. This is just a little hillside area full of August wildflowers. We did bring the wildflower book. It is our intention to identify these puppies. So when Joy edits this thing, we're just going to be able to say, yeah, these were whatever they were, we hope. And I think there's some others that we might be able to identify. I'm provisionally calling those purple ones oxeye daisies, but I'll bet you I'm wrong, because it doesn't look anything like an oxeye to me. But why not? There are, well, that's good enough, 2 or 3 different species. We'll figure them out. Well, I don't know. We're still on Grass Creek Road. We're still climbing. And we ran across this bear patch. And I think they chipped the wood that they took from somewhere. And this is just an acre. Well, I don't know what an acre is. A lot. Is this an acre, Joy? Maybe not. She's not listening to me. But it's all wood chips. And I actually went and dug down, forgive me for the vertigo here, to an area. And it's dry down at the bottom, but it's still wood chips. You know, I mean, something's growing in there. And those are little wild roses. Oh, and there's an aspen. Aspen loves disturbed sites. But there's also some erosion. But they flattened out that area. But it's eroded down that way too. So I have no idea. Good idea? Bad idea? Pfft, no idea. Well, here's another mysterious shrub in this case. I think the red is not the flower, it's the flower's called the corolla. What's underneath the flower was a bud, that's called the calyx. So I think that's what we're seeing, but we're also seeing within the calyx, we're seeing berries, and then later on, the calyx drops off or really peels back, and all you've got are these black berries. And that's all I can tell you about this shrub until we figure out what it is. Mushrooms. I ain't eating them, but I believe they are boletes, B-O-L-E-T-E, I think. They like to rain. They don't have gills underneath them. It's sort of, they have, and I don't want to knock one over. They have spores, and they're cool.
You can get a shot up underneath that big one.
Yeah. Okay, Joy wants me to get a shot underneath this big one. Oh, but I don't have to go down there. I just have to put the camera down there. Whoa, look at that. How cool. Yeah. Okay. And before the camera goes black and I can't see what I'm looking at, we are now on Gould Mountain Road. They just decided to change the name. The one that we were on was Grass Creek. It came to a L, and they changed the name, and so now we're climbing some more up to Gould Mountain, and then we get to go down. I'm gonna do a panorama while I gasp for breath. I think we're near the top. This is looking, I think, east. This is one of the things you really have to keep your eye on is the clouds building, but it's just pretty impressive. And sorry, here's where the trees come in. We'll move a little faster here. And then we're going to cross the road. There's the road. Oops, there's a tree underneath my foot. And oops, you can't see it. But, whoop, there's Joy. Up toward the top there is Gould Mountain. We don't have to actually get to the top. We just go around the top. And so now, in theory, the road is going to begin to go down at long last. Way too optimistic when I said we were at the top of Gould Mountain and didn't have much further to go, because we've been climbing up this crap for a half mile, maybe. And it's got a few, like, switchbacks for the poor four-wheel drivers. Poor guys. But we're doing it. Well, we're at this gate that does not say road closed because the gate's opened, yeah? And we've been going up and down for quite a while. And according to the map, we can go either way. But according to our legs and feet and stomachs and the growing clouds, in theory, the road to the right is shorter. And as per normal, we shall see. Here's all the stuff that you don't see in between the videos of cute things and scenic vistas, is us trudging. But at least we're trudging downhill. And once we realized we were finally going to be trudging downhill, probably for the rest of the trail road, we both stopped and retied shoelaces to get the toe box a lot tighter so your long toes don't go smacking into the end of your boots. So we're trudging. Still trudging, but we're beginning to see signs of hope. It's flattened out some. It's opened up into meadows. And this trail going off and curving and climbing is the other side of the loop of the trail that we are on. And we ain't looping. We're just happy to see that we're approaching the end. It's official. Here's the gate for the Gould Mountain Trail. And here's the road that will take us back way far away back to the campsite. So all we have to do now is drag our bones back. We made it. According to the map, we only hiked a little bit. We started here and hiked to there. That's the Grass Creek Trail, and that's supposedly only 2 miles, 4 miles round. And then we started climbing this second trail, the Gould Mountain, and we climbed for a long way, and then went down, caught this junction that I showed you, got down to here, and then hiked back to the tent. But of course, before we got to the bottom of the trail, we had to hike up the road a ways too. Anyway, somewhere between 8.5 and 9 miles, grand total. Waiting for the pasta to steep. This is our campground. That's obviously the neighbors who are not there. Neighbors who are there. I don't think you can call this glamping, because you know it's 2 full steps down to the kitchen area with our little Coleman stove. The pasta is steeping, and then it's quite it's like a multi-level house here. That's our big REI Kingdom 4. It starts at the orange and goes back. There's a vestibule, small, back on the back. But what's in front of the orange, and Joy has curled, brought up the edges, is what's called the garage. And that's where we sit during rainstorms. And then there's the lake.